Hey there, I'm Kathy with the Traveling Homesteader and Gyroscope Farm, and today I wanted to do something a little different. Um, I had gotten talking with several different people about some terms that I am familiar with, but come to find out they're not, and it has to do with the grocery store. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about loss leaders today, and I hope more of you know about it than I expect. But a loss leader is something that when any given grocery store, or even like a Target or a Walmart, has their weekly ad that comes out, they'll have something on a really great sale. In my case, my local Safeway has their whole chickens, whole chicken legs, thighs, and wings on sale for 99 cents a pound. That's a loss leader. And we'll go over the regular price when we get to it. But I wanted to point that out because so many people these days are struggling to get groceries, and they're saying everything's so expensive. But if you shop things like the loss leaders or the sale times, you'll be able to find that you can get more for less. And you can even stock up and help yourself kind of get a little bit ahead of the game. Because I suspect, if you haven't seen it already, it's going to be coming down the pike soon where food's going to be a bit challenging to get at decent prices. So this happens to be Memorial Day coming up this weekend, and so there's sales going on now that you could find and use to your advantage. So why don't you come in with me and check out and see what we find at Safeway for good deals. And actually, I forgot to mention something before going in. Something you might want to consider when you go shopping at any given store. It could be Walmart, it could be Target, it could be Costco. I happen to be near a Safeway. You could be like Safeway or Aldi's or Albertsons. They're all pretty much gearing towards, if they haven't already, have apps for your phone that they will do their weekly ads. And so you can download those apps for free, and you can kind of track when they have their sales. And there's also another site called Crazy Coupon Lady that I happen to find some interesting things on that's really pretty helpful too, and she ends up posting things multiple times through a day. So if not just once a day, she'll post things throughout the day that people will find very helpful at a variety of stores to get a great discount on a variety of things. So hopefully this app idea and the Crazy Coupon Lady is helpful for you to kind of get going on getting things at a more reduced cost. Because by what I'm hearing in the news, and maybe I'm just kind of hearing things on the side, there are people really struggling for food right now, and you need to get a little bit more creative to get it done. So while I do encourage people to do gardening, which I'll be planting some things this weekend, I was able to get actually several free plants. I got like half a dozen strawberry plants, about 4 cauliflower plants, 3 tomato plants, about 50 onions, plus some other onions that my mom and I had split to plant, in addition to some yellow raspberries that I got. So you can find ways to get fresh produce to plant, but also fresh produce and other foods at stores at a reduced cost. But you have to kind of change your mentality a little bit about how you shop sometimes. So instead of saying, I'm going to go to the store today because I need these whatever things, and then they're full price, if you shop the sales and have them in your home, you'll be able to find things at a greater discount, and then it doesn't cost you as much. And you'll see what I'm talking about here in just a minute. So I will admit, I did write down a list of things that I wanted to get. And that's one tip that you can take that will help you get through your shopping easier. So as I entered the store, I came upon the fruit section. And another thing that you might want to do is go around the edges. And that's what I did. So as I walked in the store, I went to my left after getting the cherries, went through the produce section, and got some watermelon here for 49 cents a pound. Now the cherries were also on sale, but the next section is the meat section that I came upon, where my chicken, I found I could get 2 at 99 cents a pound. So I got 2 birds at 99 cents a pound. So as I moved on to the next section, you can see that you get buy 2, get 3 free of a variety of sodas. I landed upon my Diet Dr. Pepper because that's what I liked. And that same sale was kind of going on with a lot of the chips. Buy two, get three free. And as you can see, they were $5.99 a bag, all in. Then I went and got the Tostitos queso because I kind of started liking that with chips and dip. So at $5.49 each, that was a great sale. While I came in initially for the Powerade at 49 cents each, I didn't find the flavors I liked, so that's why I went and got the Gatorade at $5.99. Over in the dairy department, I ended up getting 2 butters and 2 cheeses because as you can see by the sign, it says must buy 2 or more to get that price. So I did. And then over in the freezer section, I got this Tillamook's ice cream for $2.99 each when you buy, I believe it was 2 or more. And that was a great deal. While I was in the freezer section, I also got some Cool Whip. On that one, I believe I got 3 at $1.99. There was no limit to having that price. So you can see what I got in my cart, and it ended up being a lot for the money, which I was really excited about. I have to admit, as I saw the price going up for each item that I had bought, I was surprised at how high my bill came to. But as you'll see here in a minute, the price did come down and did kind of take off a lot. All told, I saved 55%, which was something of a big shock to me considering how things were on sale. So when all was said and done, as you may have noticed on the tally that I had at the store, I ended up saving 55% on my overall tab at Safeway. Now, here's the deal. I ended up buying certain things that I probably wouldn't have bought had it not been on sale, but I found that I have stocked up on things that I do use that ends up by buying it the way it was on sale, like the soda. It ended up being cheaper by like a third. In the case of the Dr. Pepper that I got, the Diet Dr. Pepper, each case of 12 run at $9.99 a case. It was buy 2, get 3 free. So for 5 cases of soda, instead of being $9.99 a piece, it ended up costing me $3.99 a piece. And so in essence, I was able to get not quite 3 full cases for the price of 1. And so to me, that's a better deal with the prices as they are now than just going in and saying, oh, I need a case of Dr. Pepper. Now, in my case, I do drink Diet Dr. Pepper. I've tried to cut back on it, so I've not been drinking it as much. But strangely enough, it ends up helping me with my migraines when I start to get one. So I have these now for, I'm going to try to see how long I can keep them as without using them and use it for just in times of need kind of thing. Because really, I don't need to have all that soda on a regular basis. Just when push comes to shove, I don't need all that. But if I have it in case of like an emergency for when I get a headache, then it's there to help out. But in the case of the other things, I'll actually use it. But again, it won't be an immediate thing. Except for like the watermelon and the cherries, which are great to have fresh. And for me, since I don't know how to preserve these in another way, I'm going to eat these fresh. And I'm actually going to share the watermelon with my mom. And so, since it's Memorial Day weekend, we're going to have that sort of thing this weekend. But I wanted to point these things out as things that you could seek after too and help to slowly but surely stock up. Now, I realize that there are some people that really legitimately don't have enough money. And if that's the case, remember, there are places where you can go get food in that dire need. You can go to your local food bank. You can go to your local church. There's a lot of different resources that you could find to get food and help for food and that sort of thing. You can even check out with your town hall or city hall. But in this case, if you are like really in need of food and you kind of want to have your money go the farthest, in this case, I was able to find meat like whole meat. Like this chicken was 99 cents a pound. This cost me $5.14. Okay. Otherwise, it would have been $1.69 a pound. So I saved about 70 cents a pound. Now, this particular bird could serve for several meals for several people. You could do, if you roast it in the oven, or in a, like I have a small table countertop oven, a convection oven of sorts. If I could roast this in that oven, cook it, and have some meals out of it, I could have any number of things, from sandwiches to over nachos, or in burritos, or in fried rice, just the meat itself. And then, now I'm partial to white meat, so I'm going to use this bird mainly for the white meat, but I will probably then use the dark meat. I can actually do something for my dogs. If not that, then I can also do it in soup. I don't mind the dark meat in soups. But then once it's cooked in the oven, I can roast it down again for the bones, and then put the bones and the remaining meat in a stock pot. And I can make my own soup base and make my own broth. And with onions, celery, and carrots, so, percolate it out for several hours with water. You could have a simple broth. Would be basically the carcass of this chicken with some very simple and easy vegetables, onions, celery, and carrot. And then you just you fill the pot up with water, and you let it perk with salt and pepper. That's it. And you let it perk for about, I'd say 2 to 3 hours at least. And you get a nice healthy broth. And then once you strain out the chicken and the carcass, you could put the meat back into it. And then you could add rice or noodles and make like a chicken rice soup or a chicken noodle soup. And again, that can last for several meals. And you can have that with like a piece of toast or a roll of sorts. And so this bird, I'm guessing on the conservative side, could probably get you easily 10 meals from this one item for $5.14. And yes, you'd have to add just a couple of dollars more for some of the vegetables. But again, $10, say you put $10 all told, 10 meals for $10 from one protein source. That's a decent return. But then you can also, like in this case, I was able to get these cheeses for 99 cents a piece. Take this along with chicken, and you could make some tortillas. You can make, I shouldn't say tortillas. You could make some burritos. You could do any number of different things. But again, with some of the things that I bought today, you don't have to buy, in the case of like the soda, you don't have to buy 5 of something. Though for the sale, it was buy 2, get 3 free. So in that case, you had to buy all of them to get that. So if that's not your speed, then don't do it. In the case of the Gatorade, that particular batch, I'm finding that when I get overheated, it's because I don't have enough water, and that's what I bought that for. So I can use that when I'm hot or I need, if I'm feeling lightheaded. And that was on sale for $5.99 from $8.99. Now that's not the best of the deals that I had. The one I was actually after was a different brand of the same thing for 49 cents a piece, and the limit was 10. So I could have gotten 10 for $4.90 versus the 8 for $5.99. But they didn't have the other brand in the flavor I liked where I could get it. So I'll go check in on another day for that. But again, if you got one of those at 49 cents, that'll help you out in the short term. But you can go and get different things and store them. Like I got two butters at $2.99 a piece. Now that's a decent deal to me on butter these days. And I can put that in my freezer. And so that's the other thing about some of these things, is I bought them with the intention of putting in my freezer or putting it on my shelf in the case of some chips. So I can do that, or any of these other shelf stable items, I can go put them on my shelf and have them for another time. Now, coming back to my total was $101.90. That was my out of the door price. Had I paid full price for this, it would have been well over $200. I believe it would have been $226 and change. Because I read the circular for the store, I was able to know what things were on sale and what things I would actually eat or use. And because I had their app and I'd accumulated some points on my card, I was able to get an additional $7 off outside of the sale items that I'd gotten. And so that's the other thing, at least with Safeway, you accumulate points. So at least with Safeway, with a series of points you accumulate at each increment of, I forget exactly what they were, you can get $1 off, $2 off, $5 off, $7 off. And I have a tendency to go with the amount off my groceries rather than going to their gas stations, because you could go to the Safeway gas station and get, I want to say 10 cents off a gallon, up to $1 off per gallon. And so I don't happen to go to their gas stations, and so that's why I go and get their cash. I do the cash back on my groceries. So in my case, I was able to save an additional amount off, which meant getting something like this chicken for free. So if I did it right, if this is $5.14, and I say did the 2 cheeses, so that's $7.14 on those 3 items. I would have only had to have paid 14 cents with the $7 that I had gotten taken out. So see how that works? So in that case, I was able to get something kind of nice for cheap or free. So when you go shopping, think of looking at your groceries that way. How you can get things that are on sale, and or use your shopping to your advantage to get money off at another time. Now for me, I'm really not a couponer. I had always wanted to get into the couponing thing, but it just kind of crosses wires in my head. But I can read the circulars or the ads, the weekly ads, and say, that's on sale then. That's on sale. That's on sale. I want those items. That's how I can operate. And that's, in fact, how I was able to get some of these other things that I wanted to point out. So like last week, this Bumblebee Light Tuna in water was something else that was on sale. And I want to say these were 99 cents a piece. And normally these are well over $1. I want to say they're like a dollar, either $1.49 or $1.99. I forget exactly which. But I just got a couple to put on my, at 99 cents a piece. I got 4 of them, and that worked out for me. When they're on sale, I've gotten these Campbell's cream of stuffed soups. I have a couple of varieties. This happens to be cream of mushroom. I get a couple of these at a time sometimes because I use them in a couple of things that I make during the winter. And they're great for casseroles. They're great for various different things. And at 99 cents, it's good. But these are getting to be over $2 a can now. And they didn't used to be. And so that's a thing that I'd rather have a couple of these on stock than not have them at all, or have to pay more than double the price if I have to get it on the quick. And so that's why I kind of shop a little ahead just to make sure I have things. And another thing I got on sale last week was one of these barbecue sauces. Now, Sweet Baby Ray's, I will not say is the best on the planet, but like the highest end, but it's also not the worst. It's actually to me, it's a pretty good middle of the road barbecue sauce. And I ended up getting this for 99 cents. And again, I get 1 or 2 of these, and it helps with a whole host of things. I use it in a fry sauce I make. Sometimes I'll do it I'll make a barbecued pulled pork sort of thing, and I'll put it in my crock pot, and I'll put one of these in to help flavor. And that's what helps out a lot. And so, like, I have some some pork tenderloin that I have in my freezer that I got on sale. And again, I can take, say, half of that and one of these, and I can do pulled pork. And the other half of that pork loin, I can slice up and use it for, boneless pork chops. I could use it for a host of other things. And that way I get a myriad of different things out of one cut of meat instead of having to worry about a whole host of things. And there's actually a guy that, and I unfortunately I forget his name now. I want to say Meat Guy or something like that. Anyway, this is a guy that I kind of like. I like his style, and he basically is showing people on YouTube, in our quick shorts on Facebook, how to cut meat on the cheap that you can buy yourself at the store instead of buying already cut meat. How you can take larger chunks of meat and cut it down, and it's actually cheaper than having it cut for you at the butcher. So sometimes when you look at things in different ways, there's really a host of ways that you can save money at the grocery store by doing things yourself. And so like cutting down a watermelon, you don't have to get pre-cut fruit. You can get a knife and cut a watermelon. It's not that hard. You can, go get a chicken and roast it. While the Costco chickens are great, and at $5 already cooked, that's awesome. You can get it yourself and you can cook it yourself and know kind of what's on it and, have it be, it's in your mix. If you have salt issues, you don't want to be having any excess mystery items on your food. You want to know that you can cook it and know how much salt is in something. So being able to cook your own food is kind of a bonus, and knowing how to buy it on the cheap is also a help. Which leads me to the fact that this also allows you to go to do garden. So if you're able to buy your own plants, you can actually get things really as fresh as you can get it by just picking it off the vine. Some really easy things to grow are potatoes, cucumbers, green beans. You can even grow onions pretty easily. Herbs are way easy. Dill is the easiest thing to grow on the planet, I think. But you can also grow rosemary, thyme, all these fresh herbs. You can buy a plant it in a pot, have it in your windowsill, have it on your porch, and it comes back year after year. And it ends up getting bigger and bigger. And it will cost you very little money. Now, here's the trick, though, on plants. Like food, plants can cost a variety of different amounts. I just happened to be at my local home improvement store the other day, and they were having a sale on plants. And these tomato plants were in kind of the larger pots, were normally $9.99 a plant. Now, $9.99 or $10 for a singular tomato plant is astronomically high to me. I'm like, ouch, no. So, but if that's what you can find and that's what you can get, I'd rather have you get something than nothing. And a $10 plant that yields you, 5-10 pounds of tomatoes is cheaper than going to the grocery store and getting it for their high prices there. But this particular plant was on sale from $9.99 down to $3.99 for a short period of time. So therein lies the savings, again, is to know when to shop for plants and where. So you can find plants that you can buy now that are a little bit less, but had like in my case, had I planned a little bit better, I could have planted tomato seeds 6 weeks ago and had just as a healthy plant as was at my local home improvement store for a fraction of the cost. Or you could also do something like a plant exchange. In my case, I belong to a women's group out by where I live, and once a month we meet at somebody's house, and each year we have been doing an annual plant exchange in May. And this May was no different. We had our plant exchange. And basically, everybody can bring plants of a variety of plants. Some people bring vegetables, some people bring flowers, some people bring outdoor plants, some people bring indoor plants. There's a whole host of them. And this year, and it's all free. We just do an exchange. And even if you didn't have plants to bring, you could still take plants away. And in my case, I was able to bring some bulbs, some orange crocosmia bulbs that I had gotten from somebody else, and several people had taken some away. And so that was a nice thing that I was able to share with other people. In exchange, I was able to get 3 tomato plants. I was able to get 3 artichoke plants. I was able to get a large amount of black iris flowers, along with about a half a dozen white calla lilies, in addition to 3 other somewhat mystery plants. One was like a white orchid type plant. And then the next day I was able to actually go to another neighbor's house, and she'd offered me some red raspberries, some live red raspberry plants. And I was able to get enough red raspberries that I could have started my own full bed. But I didn't have enough room to do it as much as I wanted, so I shared some with my mom. And then I was able to share with 3 other people. So this batch of raspberries that I was able to get from a friend actually helped 5 people. So when you make friends like that who are just, in the case of my friend, she just was getting rid of them because she wanted to put something else in there. And she was just going to pull them up and chuck it if I didn't come and pick them that night or dig them up that night. And so that's the other thing. Make friends with people who have plants, and you guys can swap things, saving yourself some more money. Now, in my case with my little garden here, I was looking at things, and while I have a lot of flowers and non-edible plants right now, I'm getting more in my fruited areas. So I have a lot of fruits. So with my garden, I now have this year, I'll actually have a fair amount of strawberries to plant, because I already have an established strawberry pot. And then I'll have another half dozen of the strawberries. So my strawberry bed's going to actually be pretty big this year. But I also have about a dozen blueberry plants. I have a gooseberry plant. I have 2 fig trees. And what else? I had something else in here. So I'm starting to kind of have things that are coming back more often, that are good things to have as far as fruiting plants. And with these items, I can make a lot of different things. In my case, I got the gooseberries because I kind of like gooseberry jam. That's one of the few jams I like. And that's what I can make with the gooseberries. In the case of the figs, you can have them dried, you can have them in baked goods, and you can actually have them fresh. And so that's the thing that I encourage you to do, is find something that you can grow that's easy for you to grow and that you like. And same with your groceries. Buy things that you'll actually eat and use, and start slowly but surely stocking up on them. If you don't take the time to do that, you'll never have anything on your shelf. And in my case, I'm actually looking at what I have in my storage right now, and I will sometimes sit here and say, I have some food on my shelves. And that's kind of, it's a comfort for me to know that I have some food on my shelves, because I went to the sales, because I checked what's available to me at a price I can afford. And that's why, like, these things that I bought, and yes, putting up $100 is expensive, and I actually talked to my mom and I said, I'm not going shopping for like years. I'm not gonna do that. But I mean, I've bought enough now that between this and what I have in storage will last me for a fair amount of time. I already have some like other things like noodles. I have various meats. I have soups and just all sorts of things that I can now do what I heard recently as reverse meal plan. So while you might meal plan and go shopping, I can go to my freezer in my cupboard and I can do in reverse. I can say, well, okay, well, I have a chicken. I have my watermelon. I have my can of something soup. What can I make with that? So with that in mind, I've actually pulled out these items out of my freezer and put together kind of a bit of a meal plan based on what I have in my pantry and freezer. So as I put these together, I've actually put them together by items or product I'm going to cook. In this case, I'm going to be making a Thai chicken curry meal that I'm going to put over rice. So I put all the ingredients together. In this case, I'm putting together a bit of a pot pie where I'm going to put lamb and hamburger meat along with some corn and green beans. With these ingredients, I'm going to be making a tomato orzo dish with some goat's milk cheese and some bouillon that I have in my refrigerator. Then, moving on to the next batch, I'll actually be making a bit of a curry that I learned how to make through a man I helped care for. And the ingredients to this are a pound of hamburger, several tablespoons of curry powder, an onion, and some green peas that I'll be actually using from the freezer. Just for some difference, I'm going to be doing some grilling. So I'm going to be making a bit of a lamb and ground beef burger with some onions and other seasonings. And then to go along with that theme, I'm also going to be doing some brats. So this way, I get to have a combination of different items for meals. And then finally, like I showed you, I do have a bird, a whole young chicken that I'm going to be baking. So you can see here, this is a whole set of meals that I can use and put together on something of a budget. It's going to be over 30 meals that I'll prepare all from my shelf and freezer. So I've come back to Safeway, and I ended up, when I first came, I was at one part of the sale week, and now I'm at the other end of the sale week, because I wanted to check in on something that I couldn't find on the day that I came before. So what I also decided to do was just bring in some change, because they have a coin changing machine, and so I ended up getting like just over $8 in change. So I thought, I'm going to see what I can get with the $8 in change that I have laying around, and see if I can get the other thing that I wanted to get, which I can. So they had these Powerades so this is Powerade in orange, and then they also have the flavor I like of strawberry lemonade. And so you can get these this week for 49 cents a piece, up to 10, which is what I have. So that's $4.90. So I decided to also get a bit of a treat of an egg roll and cilantro at 99 cents. So cilantro is 99 cents, the egg roll is $1.79. So that is still within my parameters of the $8.20. So this, I will actually get money back, which I'm kind of glad. So before all was said and done on this little job, it was $23.68 before all the sales came off. $7.68. Now that you've seen kind of how I shop and how you can do your own menu based on what you like right out of your freezers or out of your pantry, maybe this will help you kind of see how to shop in different ways and also kind of think about what you might be able to garden. Now remember, this is prime garden season. You can still get some things at the store to plant in your garden, whether it's a full-fledged garden or whether it's just a couple of plants on a patio. You have the opportunity to kind of take control of what you grow and or what you buy at really reasonable prices, despite the economy kind of going. So there are ways to find deals, both on plants and on food, so that you can kind of not go hungry, but also meal plan and kind of eat like a king or queen. And so at least when I find that I cook for myself, I'm like, this is pretty swank. I'm getting curry, or I'm getting, steak, or I'm getting, burgers and brats at a greater deal than what I might do out at a restaurant. And maybe instead of going out to a restaurant for food, you might have some friends over and have kind of a party at your place and kind of spruce things up that way. So thanks for stopping by, and I hope to see you around again. And if you haven't already, click the subscribe button below. And if you want to share some of your ideas on how you save money these days, I'm looking forward to seeing how other people save money as well. So thanks again for stopping by, and I look forward to seeing you again next time.